Welcome back to Jikook Universe, a space where every glance, every quiet moment and every subtle interaction between Park Jimin and Jeon Jungkook feels like a story waiting to be understood. Here we don't just watch what happens on the surface. We look deeper, into the pauses, the silences, the moments that pass by unnoticed by most, yet mean everything to those who truly see. Because in a world filled with bright lights and loud performances, sometimes the most powerful connections are the ones that speak without words. Jikook has never been about grand gestures or obvious displays. It's about the quiet comfort of standing side by side, the unspoken understanding in a single glance, and the way two people can feel close, even in the middle of a crowd. So if you've ever felt that there's something more beneath those small, fleeting moments, you're in the right place. This is not just a story. This is a feeling. This is Jikook Universe. Purple Heart. That morning felt like any other in the fast-paced life of BTS. The air was calm, the schedule already waiting, and the members stepped out of the hotel together, moving as one just like they had done countless times before. Staff surrounded them, conversations flowed naturally, and everything looked normal. At least on the surface. Because for those who pay closer attention, no moment is ever truly just normal. Among them, Park Jimin and Jeon Jungkook walked side by side. Not too close, not too obvious. Just enough to blend into the group, just enough to not draw attention. It was subtle, almost unnoticeable if you weren't looking for it. And maybe that's exactly what makes it so meaningful. Because whatever exists between them has never needed to be loud. It has never needed to be proven. It simply exists. The day unfolded like any other. Rehearsals, preparations, brief moments of laughter shared between members. The familiar rhythm of a group that has spent years growing together. The energy was there, the bond between all 7 members undeniable, filling the space with warmth and comfort. Jimin and Jungkook were part of it all. They laughed, they interacted, they stayed within the group dynamic just like everyone else. Nothing seemed out of place. Nothing stood out in a way that would immediately catch attention. But sometimes, the strongest connections are the ones that don't need to stand out. They live quietly in the background. In small glances, in shared silences, in the kind of comfort that doesn't ask to be noticed. Hours passed and slowly the day began to fade into night. The lights of the city flickered on, the noise softened and the once busy schedule came to an end. One by one, moments of the day settled into memory. It was time to return, to rest, to finally step away from everything. And that's when something simple became something more. If the morning had been about togetherness as a group, the night told a quieter, more intimate story. Because this time Park Jimin and Jeon Jungkook were seen returning to the hotel. Alone, just the two of them. No members around. No crowd. No noise. Just them. At first glance it might seem like a small detail. Something easy to overlook. Something that could be dismissed as coincidence. But for those who have followed their journey closely, it doesn't feel that simple. Because moments like this are not about coincidence. They are about choice. After a long day surrounded by people, schedules, and expectations, they chose to return together. And in a world where almost everything they do is observed, structured, and shared, a moment like this, quiet, unfiltered, unscripted, feels incredibly real. There was no stage. No performance. No need to act or explain. Just two people walking side by side at the end of a long day. And somehow, that says everything. Fans felt it instantly. Not as excitement but as something deeper. A warmth. A quiet understanding. The feeling that they were witnessing something genuine. Not because it was dramatic but because it wasn't. Because sometimes, the most meaningful moments are the ones that don't try to be meaningful at all. Jimin and Jungkook have never needed grand gestures to show their connection. They don't rely on obvious displays or carefully crafted moments. Instead, it's always been in the small things. In the way they naturally find their way back to each other. In the comfort of simply being side by side. In the silence that doesn't feel empty, but full. That night, as they returned together, there was a sense of calm surrounding them. As if for a brief moment the outside world didn't matter. As if the noise, the expectations, the endless attention, had all faded into the background. And what remained was something simple yet deeply meaningful. Maybe to some it was nothing. Maybe to others it was just routine. But to those who truly see, it was a glimpse into something deeper. A connection that doesn't need to be explained. A closeness that doesn't need to be proven. A bond that quietly, consistently, finds its way back. The morning began with everyone together. The day was filled with shared moments as a group. But when the night finally came and everything grew still, they walked back side by side. And maybe without needing a single word, that moment said more than anything else ever could. Because in a world full of people, noise, and endless movement, there is always that one place that feels like home. And that night for Jimin and Jungkook, they found it in each other. And so, as this moment quietly comes to an end, we're left with something that lingers far beyond what we've seen on the surface. Because with Park Jimin and Jeon Jungkook, it has never been about proving anything to the world. It has always been about the little things, the unnoticed details, the silent choices, the kind of closeness that doesn't need explanation. Maybe we'll never have all the answers. Maybe we're not meant to. But perhaps that's what makes it so special. That in between the noise, the lights, and the endless movement of their world, there are still moments that feel real, moments that feel like they belong only to them. And somehow just by witnessing those small pieces we feel it too. So as we close this story, remember, sometimes the most meaningful connections aren't the ones that are loudly shown, but the ones that quietly remain. Until the next moment we discover together. This is Jikook Universe. Purple Heart.